Alright, so there's gonna be a coaching session with Gatos. What elo are you, Gatos?
I was silver 1 when I played this, and I'm gold 5 now.
Okay. So you're
Uh,
playing Camille into Fiora. What runes are you running this game?
I'm running Comet and the Resolve secondary. No, I'm running
Inspiration
Stopwatch,
secondary.
so
Okay.
yeah, Inspiration second, yeah.
Okay. That's fine, actually. Alright, so you're against Fiora. This is a pretty tough matchup for Camille early game. And not early game, but as the game goes on, it becomes a lot more rougher. Do you have any other specific like areas that you really want to be coached on, or do you want to just go through the game, just be general?
Well, it's a pretty long game, so I guess you don't really have time to look for the whole one, but I think I want to specify, especially like early game, just want to like check out
Okay. Okay.
how it is in general, and also maybe like late game, because I was struggling a lot in like actually finishing this game, and I don't really feel like I deserved the win in the end because it was pretty lucky.
Okay.
Even though I play pretty decent like early to mid game, I feel like, so
Okay.
I just couldn't transition it into a win basically.
All right. So usually I start W against Fiora. Okay, you started W. I like to push the lane. So right here, nice W. And at this point, you should be pressuring for her DCS. Just walk up to her and auto because you have your passive shield. So Fiora, once she uses her Q, she can't really trade with you. So after that initial trade went on, you should have pressured her for those CS when she went for those. You went a nice W. I wouldn't have W there just because your comment wasn't up yet, which meant that it wouldn't do that much damage, but not too big of a deal.
All right.
W miss. But yeah, so going back, I really like having lane priority push. So like as soon as level 1 starts, I start autoing the shit out of the creeps. And this way, if you get Fiora under tower, you can look for fast E's, like right here. So if she's farming creeps over here, you can do really quick E's and hit her under tower. Especially if you have minion advantage, you can just go for trades and just win trades through minion advantage. And yeah, getting pushed in as Fiora, like you're not able to harass her as much.
Yeah. It was just that Greg said he was planning on going top level 3
okay.
to gank, so I tried to freeze it.
Okay. So if that was the case, then that Gragas was coming, you needed to freeze this further. So you see how this let's see. So you see how this wave crashes into tower.
Yeah. So it.
So you had to trim this wave a little bit out. Like this wave is way too big. You need the wave to like be like maybe like a couple casters, maybe like 2 or 3, and then like one or 2 melee minions. So like at this point, this is a full wave, and you can't tank this. Like you'll take too much damage, so you have to let it crash, which means that it breaks the freeze and it'll reset. And if the Fiora is smart, he can just let the wave reset back onto her and play safe. So bit of a mistaken wave management, but. Ooh, that was actually a really good E. Let's watch that again. I think the Fiora fucked up in terms of her Q placement.
She jumped in turret.
I don't know why she even went for that Q, especially since you didn't even have the vital. But you knock her into the turret, that's really good. Get a kill, nice. And at this point, I wouldn't push. No push.
Just freeze it? Okay.
Yeah, the reason is because Fiora will TP anyways, right?
Yeah.
So there's no reason to shove this because you can't reset this on time and push this into tower before she TPs, right? That means that you should just freeze this, and Gragas is still topside, so you guys could potentially kill her again. Because you see this cannon minion, it's like a lot healthier than yours. So if you didn't auto any creeps, this wave would have froze right here. And this is a nice spot to have the wave in, especially with Gragas topside. So I wouldn't have autoed these creeps at all. Yeah, you autoing these creeps don't do anything. It actually hurts you. Just because like Fiora does have teleport. Okay, so she TP's back. Oh, this guy running PTA Fiora? Oh god. Does he not parry? Oh god. So that should have been a kill for you, 100%. If you play that a little better. So let's watch it again. So Fiora TP's in. So my reaction when this TP happens is spam ping jungler, and you trade with him a little too early. What I mean by that is like, the Gragas is still a couple seconds out.
Yeah.
And then you go in with the E, and this is a good trade for you. Like you end up beating her in health, but the thing is Gragas is not here yet. And
was he on the way up though before I traded? I don't think he was.
I mean, look, but even before you trade, look at his position. Like
yeah, right, yeah.
So he's in a very, very good spot to gank, and Fiora's in a terrible spot. She TP'd here, which means that even if she has wards here, it doesn't matter. Gragas can just bypass those and just run in.
Yeah,
so
that's an issue with my bonus, I guess.
Yeah, just a little too early.
Yeah.
And wait, I can't tell if your W's up or not. The replay thing's bugged. I want to watch it again. So you started with the W, okay. And there's no reason for you to back up here. Like, look at the health difference. He's at 300. You're at like 400. There's no way Fiora can kill you. So all you have to do is keep running forward. Like, keep running forward in front of Fiora, right? And then she'll chase you into the Gragas. And there's no way she can kill you. Like, she just used her Q, she used her E, and you can just keep chasing her out. But instead you back off way too much. And you mess up the W right there, and then E, that should have been an E flash, and you would have killed her. Right there.
Yeah.
So this should be a reset for you. You have enough for Sheen. That's nice. Oh, I would really back here. This is a really bad roam. This is a huge waste of time. Xerath has flash. No point in going for this. So if you hadn't done that, if you just backed right away, so right here you start recalling, and as soon as you recall, you TP back, and then you don't miss anything. Instead, what happens is you miss, since this wave was so big, you actually miss out on triple melee here.
Yeah.
So early game, when you're like level 4 on Camille, your primary objective is not to roam. Like, unless you see a really, really good opportunity where, like, say like their mid lane, you know for sure their mid lane did like blue flash or whatever, and they're like sitting under pretty low health. Like, this is a very low percentage play. Like, the chances of this working out is very, very low, and you don't have your ult. So every roam, like, you should take into account like how likely is this to succeed, and then just make a decision off of that. Should I do this or not? But especially 4 minutes into the game, you should really put a priority on your lane rather than roaming first, because these like 3 melee creeps at 4 minutes is a lot more significant compared to like 24 minutes, right? Like 3 minions at 24 minutes. It's just that the earlier the game is, these minion and XP changes are just super significant. So you actually end up missing 4 creeps here, which is really bad. You would have actually, so Fiora's at almost level 4. You are at like 4.5. So say you hadn't missed those creeps, right? You'd be almost level 5 right now.
Right.
So you'd have like a full on almost like 11, probably like level and a half advantage, which is huge. So you end up saving your TP. So that was just a trade-off between 4 creeps and TP, right? So like if you backed and TP right away, you wouldn't have missed 4 creeps, and you would have used TP. But the thing is, especially in solo queue, like early game, like 4 minutes into the game for top lane, saving TP, honestly, like in a volatile matchup like this, like Fiora Camille, like if this is a tank matchup, if they say like you're against like a Maokai or an Ornn, I would say losing those 4 creeps for TP is okay. But in a matchup like this where whether you can beat the Fiora or whether she can beat you is so important. I would honestly think I honestly say that the 4 creeps are worth the teleport there.
Okay.
So right here, she queues into you. There's no reason for you to not trade. You need to. I've noticed that you don't take advantage of your passive shield enough. So like, right here, the trade happens where she she queues into you. And then why not walk up to her, auto queue her? There's no way she wins that trade, right? You have a Sheen, you have your passive shield. She can't proc your vital because you were right here, right?
Yeah.
You were next to the wall. So as soon as she queues into you, my reaction is to walk up and auto queue, like do the auto reset. And then you can even use another Q for another auto reset, like, and just do like an auto Q, and then she would lose like 300 health due to Sheen, right? So that's just a trade opportunity missed. Right there, you could have gotten that true damage proc and maybe forced her parry right there. You used your Q a little early.
Yeah.
That's alright. So right there, you use your Q on the creep. Why not go for the W here? So you use your Q. You have a nice vital where Fiora can't really proc it. As soon as you hit this Q, you get the movement speed, right? Yep. So why not W her here? So if you W her, Fiora has 2 choices. She can either Q out of it or she can Q into you, right? And if she Qs into you, then you can get a free Sheen proc true damage precision protocol. If she Qs out, then that's fine because she will have wasted her Q because you know how Fiora's cooldown doesn't get refunded if she doesn't hit anything.
Yep.
So that means that she can't contest CS afterwards. So it's like little things like that. You can pressure the Fiora even further. But instead you just use a Q for farming, and miss the W. So yeah, especially for Fiora, you can really take advantage of the fact that you can do your QWQ combo.
I actually managed to tab out of the game. I lost skills for it. Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, but this lane is not really like going well for you, just because you're like playing it you're playing it okay, but this Fiora is playing this terribly, pretty much. Like starting from her first death. She hasn't parried any of the really CC, and yeah. But oh, this is a really bad back timing. You need to push one more here. Oh god. Okay. So when you get creep waves like this, look at where the creeps are meeting. The creeps are gonna meet right here. There's no way this is gonna reset properly. You're gonna miss all these creeps if you don't push this out. So what you should be doing is, you have trinkets, right? You have trinkets and wards, pink ward. So ward right here, and just don't use your E, and just auto these creeps and just push this out. And there's no way Fiora can kill you. She's level 4. If Jarvan comes to gank, as long as you have your E, you won't die. So you can shove an extra wave and get a free reset, because the Fiora can't contest you for this wave. If she does, then you can just beat her. So, yep. You end up wasting a lot of time. So this is like 5-6 second wasted because you hesitated. You use your E here. Okay, you back off, but you're not using your trinkets well enough right now. And I'm gonna guess that you hesitate again on the back timing. So you really need to work on these back timings.
Okay.
This roam. First of all, Zoe. Look at Zoe's health. 100 health. She can't help you at all in this roam. Your vision is very limited. You have no idea where Jarvan is at all. So this is a very low percentage play again. Okay. Zoe cannot help you out. You have no vision on Jarvan at all. Jarvan could be waiting to counter gank. So this had to be you had to really reset. You could actually kill him right there if you ulted him.
Yeah.
So right here, my reaction as soon as I see Jarvan walk into the bush is ult him. Just ult him. And you would have actually killed him. Maybe blown a flash, but so this play ends up working out, but this is nowhere. This is not a play that would have worked out properly. Like I don't know how Xerath. I guess Xerath got hit by an E, but this is not a play I would have gone for, because the potential of you, the stuff that you miss from that roam is far greater than like the risk, like of the percentage of this play working out, in my opinion. But yeah, we need to work on the back timings a little bit for sure. So you end up TPing. You're really strong at this point. I would like I wouldn't even let her farm anything like right now. I would just walk up and just auto her. Like, you're playing way too scared. I think the problem with your trade pattern in this in lane is that I think you're trying to initiate trades with E only, which is not Camille's only trade pattern. Especially against Fiora, you can start a lot of trades by just queuing a minion and getting that huge movement speed, especially with Phage, and just running up to her and Wing her. I think you're trying too hard to like E her to start a trade every time, and which is not ideal, because if the Fiora is good at parrying, she can actually just parry and just win trades like that. And I don't see you often enough where like you can test these creeps that are about to die and just auto her. Like, here's what I mean. So like right here, the Fiora is gonna walk up for this. Why not walk up to her right here, and then if she walks up to it, you get an auto Q off. Auto Q, that's 200 health gone right there. So she's going for the creep again. Here, why not walk up here and auto Q her? What can she do to you? She can't do anything. All she has is a longsword, Doran's blade. You have a Phage and a Sheen.
Yeah, I see.
Fiora ends up roaming. Push this wave out. So right here, you got spotted by the river scuttle, but you still go for it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it works out because this Xerath is blind, but there's no way this should have worked. So right here, as soon as you get spotted, Xerath should know this and back off. And if Xerath backs off, you don't get anything from this. But I mean, I guess you do play to your like Elos in some way, and
no, I don't kill him.
Yeah. There's a lot of time wasted mid. But at this point, I would just be looking to solo kill the Fiora. She has, look at her items. Like, there's no way she fights you. Even if she like parries your stun and you mess up the trade hard, there's no way. So okay, so that was a really nice trade that you did. QWQ trade. So right here, you land your what is it called? E. Why not commit to this fight? So you have your ultimate, and you have your wall right here. There's no way Fiora can proc all 4 vitals if you hug this wall. You ult her right here. You have your Q up, so you land, and then she'll probably ult you, and then you just hug this wall. And then you, at the very least, you get her flash and her. I guess she doesn't have stopwatch, but you at the very least you get her flash. And I think you just straight up kill her at this point. I think you're respecting the Fiora a little too much, considering you have such an item advantage. That should have been a kill for you. Not to mention you had also your attack speed steroid from your E because you landed the E against the Fiora. She didn't parry it at all. After you ult, she'll probably like parry one of your autos, but you can just sidestep her parry and just not get attack speed slow, and then you would have just killed her. So the Fiora roams down. Doesn't get anything. She buys a BF sword. Wow, what the? Okay. Now you have Triforce, and And this is just time to go. Like, if you have Triforce finished at 11 minutes, that's a pretty good time. Even with the leads that you could have done better, like leads you could have gotten better. Either way, this is like such a good time for Triforce, and there's pretty much no one who can 1v1 you at this point in the game.
Okay.
Because you're so ahead of the curve, and at this point, I'll just bully the. So like this is what you do. So you are going for the tower. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I wanted to get the first tower.
Yep.
So.
You shove this in, and all you have to do is roam into their jungle after you shove it in. I haven't seen you put down like your wards at all. You bought a pink like at like 5 minutes, and you haven't put it down. So I'd be walking into their jungle, trinket this. Okay. You can actually. Let me go rewind it real quick.
Yeah, I didn't have vision on Sarah, I think.
So the Xerath goes missing here.
Yeah, so
I actually think you could have still gone for it. Just because of your Emax, you have if you E in, like Xerath is not a great roaming mid laner. If this is like LeBlanc or like Cassidon or something who's more mobile, I would have been less inclined to go in there. But a level 8 Jarvan by himself with Xerath as his mid laner and Fiora held up here, like these aren't champions that can follow up very easily. And Jarvan, look at his build, like just squishy build. You would have just melted him. Like he had how much health did he have? He had 1100 health. Yeah, you would have melted his butt. And yeah, I would have definitely gone for that play. So we're counting at least like 3 kills missed. The first Fiora Gragas gank that you should have gotten, that should have been a kill. You should have solo killed the Fiora here, and you should have killed the Jarvan here. So that's 3 kills, 3 potential kills missed. But this is a really nice roam. I noticed you aren't weaving in your autos a couple times between your Qs. What was that?
What do you mean by?
So if you see here, it's just like very minuscule thing, but it does matter in close duels. Let me replay it. So after you kill the Jarvan, so you ult him, auto Q right here instead of just Q. You could have snuck in another auto.
Yeah, okay.
But like stuff like that. Just like especially with when you have your E attack speed stored, you can weave in a lot of autos in between your Qs. Wait, hold on a sec.
Yeah.
What was his teleport?
I was just trying to save them, like pressure, and then they backed up and I teleported.
So, a couple reasons why you shouldn't teleport here. First of all, if you're watching this bot lane play happen, look at where these people are positioned. There's a turret right here, and these guys are positioned right here. And if you TP here, you have no ult, so there's no guarantee that you're gonna kill one of these because they're staying far back. If you commit for this all the way here, you'll probably die even if you TP. So had this situation been somewhere like here, say your bot lane was here and their team was like here, right? Then this is a good TP. But the way these guys are positioned, there's no way you TP in and do anything meaningful. So Twitch already died, like one shot. So that TP should not have been casted at all.
Okay.
But good job canceling it though, for sure. That TP would have lost you a lot. And at this point, you should. There's another wave coming. The easiest way to like tell where the wave is you can just look at your own minions. So you have one more wave to push. You're 3 levels up on this Fiora. You can honestly start diving this guy under tower. If you poke him enough. If you poke him enough.
Okay.
You don't have to 100 to 0 her. You can just poke her out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what is this, this roam achieving? Like you can't do Rift Herald just because you don't know where Jarvan is and Gragas is bot. Okay, so Jarvan does show herself, but
I saw him earlier when I TP'd down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is an okay take. I think the better move might have been going mid and catching this farm mid and saving this tower.
Yeah.
This is an okay move, but saving this mid tower would have been much better, I think. And getting all this farm. This farm all goes... This is like 400 gold right here. And on top of that, they get a tower, which is huge.
Okay.
And again, you're not warding enough. If you go back... You had a trinket. I don't know where you put your pink. You put it here or something. But like, what is this ward supposed to accomplish? Why not ward right here? And let me move this. Why not ward right here and here? These are perfect wards. Okay. If you do that, then you cover Jarvan's entire top side. And as soon as Jarvan's gets spotted on one of these wards, like say he comes to try to take romp, if you have ultimate, you can solo kill him, right? Like with how ahead you are. You have Triforce. This guy is going full damage with tabbies. Doesn't matter. You can still 1v1 him. You have the push priority, so like Fiora is gonna be stuck farming creeps over here. Xerath is not the best roaming mid, and like if you ward these areas, you control his jungle and you can make other plays happen from it. Your bot lane can see, okay, Jarvan's top side, we can play aggro. Jarvan's not on these wards, that means Jarvan's on bot side, so they can play accordingly to that. So like putting wards down here, like these not only help you, but it helps your entire team, and it's like a butterfly effect.
Okay.
And that's what game impact is. Like you won your lane, and by winning that lane and using that lead, you can spread that influence to other parts of the map. This game, you did a pretty good job of roaming mid for sure, but you can definitely you could have definitely shut down this Jarvan a lot harder with how much influence you had over top side. Like you could have just shut his top side jungle all down. So like so what you're doing here, this is a common mistake I see from a lot of people as a like either top lane or whatever. What they'll do when they're ahead is people will prioritize roaming over shoving. What I mean by that is instead of going to their lane and shoving it out first and then roaming, what they'll do is they'll do what you're doing. Like they'll just come to a lane even though you got spotted by a minion, and they'll just sit there for potential play. Like if Xerath never steps up, if Xerath just stays in tower, this is just time wasted, right? So the alternate case is where if you look at the minimap, you shove this out, you shove it all the way here, right? You crash this wave in, and then you buy yourself time to roam for 30 seconds, right? Because the Fiora will be stuck catching that wave. And what you can do is by pushing this wave in and buying yourself time, you can go here into their jungle because you'll have that side warded because you have it pushed out. And then now you can look for a dive into Xerath. This is a very easy dive for Camille into champions such as Xerath. And you'll know for sure that you won't be counter ganked from this side, from Jarvan. You can just go look for an E onto him, and you can even dodge his ultimate, and so he can help you out. But that's just like a big common mistake I see from a lot of people, where if they're ahead, they just won't focus on farm. But the thing is, you can farm and then roam. Like you buy yourself time by shoving.
Okay. Yeah, just waste a lot of time there.
Yeah, it's all about being efficient, because the thing is, farm is always guaranteed gold and XP, right? Like, especially if you're head in lane, Oh, this might have been they win the fight. Okay. So right here, you should herald right now. Herald. Okay, nice. So going back on the topic, like farm is always guaranteed gold and XP, right? Whereas like roam and going for kills is not guaranteed. Obviously, like sometimes like really good TPs are like kind of guaranteed gold, but going for like roam mids and whatnot, so those are like not guaranteed plays. Those are like potential plays. That's why you should always like prioritize farm over potential roams, just because you can get the guaranteed gold and then use your time that you earned from pushing the wave for a potential play. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Really good play, and that's accomplished by you shoving this wave out. Again, you have I don't know if he bought a pink or not, but if you did buy a pink for here, I would have moved this pink to somewhere like here. But anyways, like if you win topside like that, you really need to get more like aggressive pink wards for more picks.
Okay.
I'm not sure what happened here. Let me watch this. Oof, your E got cancelled. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit important.
Nice, very nice E. And you have to run top right now. No point in doubling mid. You can't get this tower. So you should have ran top right here. You miss a full wave here. So this wave could have been left for Zoe, like left frozen, and you could have caught that top wave. Because you can't take this tower against Xerath Thresh as Camille, Leona. There's no way. So again, you're farming Raptors when there's top wave to be farmed and tower to be saved. So he's dying a lot. Okay, you got a nice solo kill on Fiora. Should have been a teleport, I think. No. What does Gragas have? He doesn't have ulti. Never mind then. What I would have done is actually farm these wolves after you crash this wave in. That should have been yeah, you should have farmed this wolves right here. Like pushing this mid wave in is okay, but the thing is, getting this wolves is like just free gold for you, and it's also denying the enemy jungler farm. Whereas this mid farm could have been farmed to Zoe, but yeah, you end up taking the mid farm, which is denying Zoe, and that gold could have just came from the enemy wolves instead.
Okay.
So at this point of the game, you have to start splitting bot. You should be telling your Twitch, okay, I'm gonna go bot since I have teleport and Baron's up, and play off of that. And tell your teammates to just shove for mid. Like right here, like you're kind of lost, like just wandering around. Okay, I don't know why no one's on their team's helping. Okay. Okay. This is actually I think you guys should have gone for Baron. You should have called for Baron here as soon as Jarvan dies. 20 seconds on Lucian, 30 seconds on Jarvan. You're 9-0. You shred Baron. You have Zoe to zone, and you guys can turn whenever if you want. I guess Twitch is bot. But yeah, at this point you really have to just tell your Twitch, hey, I'm going bot. Stop splitting bot. And you should be telling your Zoe to catch this farm top after recalling, and you have to be the one going bot.
Yeah, no one else was recalling for the wave, so I just went for it. I think. Yeah.
But like the reason why I keep emphasizing is because you're so strong, and if you make a potential TP play while you're bot lane, like you know how Twitch was bot lane for that play, like you just made. If
Yeah.
say Twitch was grouped with your team and you made that roam play happen mid lane, then that's an instant Baron. But since Twitch was stuck just taking towers bot, you guys their Baron call was kind of murky because of that. So that's why you really want to take the initiative as a top laner, especially post 20 minutes if you're fed, to just split bot. You really have to just split bot.
Okay.
I don't know what this Jarvan's doing. Jarvan should be dead. Oof. Wow.
The video is lagging pretty hard now. I don't know if that's.
Is it still lagging right now?
Yeah.
Huh.
Discord is.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's on my part.
Maybe try resuming it.
How about now? Is that better?
A little bit, yeah. It's fine. I think, yeah, it's fine.
Alright. So after you guys kill these two, I think you should have called for Baron. Like you have teleport, you can go for Baron right now.
Okay.
So you TP full health and you just Baron. And if they try to fight, you just turn. So that should have been a very easy call for you guys. You guys definitely have enough damage for it, and Gragas can tank it for days. So always fight for objectives. Like it seems like a lot of these fights, you are fighting them pretty well, but you're not really like fighting with an objective in mind.
Okay.
That should be Inferno. But anyways, the big objective is at Baron on the map right now. So you guys are stronger in 5v5. So your next goal is to get vision on Baron and just force a team fight like you did, and you just get Baron afterwards, and then you just close out the game with that. Like these plays are just very random plays that you guys are like. There's no point in going for.
Yeah.
Like there's no objectives to fight over. So like. Say this play does work out, right? What do you gain from it? You guys get a kill on the Fiora who's 1 in 5, right?
I think I just got cut off when I was pushing.
Well, you guys are trying to make a play with
I don't know why Twitch is there. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, you guys are trying to make a pick play with Twitch. Like if I was you, I would just ping this guy off. There's no point in going for this, and like you don't see anyone on their map.
Yeah, I need more version.
And even if you guys get this play, like there's nothing to do afterwards. So you guys can't take anything. You guys can't get tower, no Baron. So these are just pointless fightings that's happening.
Yeah, I ended up dying as well, I think. So.
And that's huge because you were on a 10-0 killing spree, and that's a lot of tempo lost. And look how much the gold shifted by. Before that play, you guys were up 3k gold. After that play, you guys end up being pretty much gold lead's gone now. After that,
Yeah.
And that could have been avoided by you, and for sure. Especially when you're ahead like 10-0, like you actually have to be a lot more wary of dying, just because like there's so much gold and XP value lost to the other team if you do get shut down. And yeah, just really have to stay careful, especially if you're that fed. And actually the enemy team has the gold lead now, and the Fiora is actually getting fed. And this is a matchup that it is Fiora favored as the game goes on, like late game. Fiora does end up beating Camille with a pretty not much of a problem, even if Camille is ahead in gold. as long as Fiora gets a couple items. So really need to close this game out.
I think they were ahead in gold from this point on, to be honest. I don't think we ever caught up.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
you are still super ahead of her, but Fiora, once she hits like certain item numbers, like if she hits like 3 items, I think that even if Camille has like full item ahead of her, Fiora can still 1v1 her,
Right.
just because of how their champion kill works out. So like this is what I'm talking about. Like Twitch, there's no reason for Twitch to be bot. You're the ones who's supposed to be pushing bot lane. Like instead, you're just wandering around mid. Like
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitating with like split pushing because my teammates.
well, you have teleport.
Fight.
Well, you have teleport though, and what you're doing is you're forcing the Twitch bot, which means that your team's in a greater danger, because if the Twitch is grouped up, then you can TP and make it a 5v5. But this way, Twitch is never grouped. He has to, because he's shoving bot.
Okay.
So this is not Twitch's, like this is not really Twitch's fault. This is because you're not going to the proper lane. And that's Baron gone, and the game's actually completely turned in their favor, and all your lead that you got is not that meaningful anymore. And at this point, it's just the game is just a clown fiesta, because you're not really fighting for any objectives whatsoever. I think your playstyle, like you're looking for kills way too much. You always have to like kills in the early game obviously are good. You get gold and whatnot. But in the mid game, late game, like getting a kill should always you should always translate it to an objective, especially if you're ahead. If you're behind, getting a kill is good. Like even if you just get a kill, even if you don't take a tower afterwards, it's fine. But if you're ahead, like every time you get a kill, you should be looking to get objectives out of it so that you can close out the game. Because kills eventually will not close out the game. Like if you get a 5k goal lead at 20 minutes and you just farm it out and that goal lead stays even at 30 minutes, like that goal lead is gonna matter less and less. And you guys were actually ahead enough where you guys could have done a super early 20-minute Baron, especially with the picks that you made, but just not enough emphasis on closing out the game here. And these are all just random fights that are not very structured. Okay, you actually kill this guy. Where's Fiora? Like Fiora's not in that fight, Twitch is not in that fight. Fiora had teleport too, so you see how many mistakes are being made by both teams.
Yeah.
And
well, it is over, so
yeah. What you can do to remedy that is just to shot call as much as you can. Obviously not every team will listen to what you say and what you do, but I mean that's the best you can do, right? You can at least tell your teammates what to do, and if they don't listen to you, then that's too bad. It's out of your control. But what you can do is you can still call for correct lane assignments, and most of the times people will try to listen. And that's really what you have to do in order to really carry games. Not only do you have to get fed and win lane and whatnot, you really have to kind of just lead your team how to close the game out, especially in this kind of elo where people don't know proper macro. But this game could have gone a lot better in the sense that you were so ahead of the Fiora that you could have shut her down more. But you kind of played a little too safe in lane, especially when you got Fade Sheen and she had boots, thorns, and longsword. I think she should never been allowed to come back into the game, but I think you played a little too safe.
Okay.
But that's pretty much what it like. The rest of the game is just
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Like at this point, really, I just
the rest of the game is just kind of just clown fiesta. Like it's at this point, your best bet is to just split and then look for good flank TPs and go for Xerath. I would say Xerath is the easiest person to kill on their team. He has no defensive items and he should be your like priority target. And that's what you can do. You can shove up bot, tell your team to shove out mid. Like there's no point for these guys to be here. Like you should be telling them, hey, shove mid, and then you can shove bot in and then look for a dive mid, rotate. So, obviously, like I don't know how much, like I can't tell like if you're shot calling in this game or not, but
I tried to ping a lot, but I don't talk that much now.
Yeah.
People tend to not listen to like chat. Pings works most of the time, I feel like.
Yeah, and you're starting a fight when your Zoe is dead. There's no really not a great reason to fight, but you're actually super strong, so I guess you end up winning it out anyways.
Yeah, I get half my teammates. And
but you see how even though you win this fight, what can you take from this?
Nothing.
Exactly, like nothing. You get this is like not structured. Like you guys aren't like the reason why I say you need to shove out bot and then your mid wave has to be shoved is because after you fight you have to take towers. Instead, you guys are just fighting in the jungle aimlessly, and even if you win this fight, there's nothing you can take. They're already coming back up. Like your waves aren't properly set up. This is why people always say you need to set up the wave properly, so that you can take the towers once you win a team fight. And maybe you get this tower, but you're not gonna get the inhib.
I think we do actually. Maybe not.
Oh, went back then. Oh god, I actually lived.
Again, probably should have just backed up here, shouldn't I? After the tower.
Yeah. I actually would have gone Thornmail rather than Randuin's here. If you go Thornmail, that cuts away. So Fiora has double lifesteal item. Lucian also has a lifesteal item, and so does Jarvan. And Thornmail would have been a lot better. Okay. The only crit person is really Lucian, but he doesn't even have IE, so he doesn't really hurt that bad. So yeah, I think Thornmail would have been a lot better, but purchase, because it would make your 1v1 against Fiora a lot better too, because of the Grievous wound, right? But I mean, the rest of this game is just, to be honest, pointless to review.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Eventually, I just managed to push through the inhibs, and then we finished off with so like base racing.
So like if you're ahead as a top laner, the way to close out games, you push up bot, right? If you have the 1v1 advantage, you can draw people bot lane, right? So like say you started doing this at like 20 minutes, right? At that point, there's no way Fiora could have 1v1'd you. Now it's a little bit different story because Fiora is a little more scaled up. But at that point of the game, if you go bot lane, you can actually start diving the Fiora if you're left alone with her. At that point, the enemy has to send multiple people after you, which you can outplay and have your teammates take other stuff on the map. They can even start Baron, and you can TP in and finish Baron. You can also push in bot and then have your teammates push mid, and then you can flank from behind on the inner tower. So like it opens up so many options if you just shove the wave in bot lane as a top laner, especially with teleport. And that's just really what you have to do. I think you need to, from what I've been seeing, like you did really well in lane, but then you're just kind of looking for picks too much rather than like looking for objectives. Like, so just think to yourself like, okay, what should be the next biggest objective? So let's see. Let's go back to 20 minutes in the game, right? A lot of people ask me like, oh, like how do you like play for objectives? Like I don't understand like what that means. Like, let's see. What?
Oh, we're going out here.
Okay. Wait, you're going right now? I'm almost done. Hold on a sec. So, sorry about that. So right now the inner tower's up, bot tower's up, right? Which means that your next objectives are also dragon coming out, right? So like, so these are the primary objectives and the baron. So that means that you should be pushing bot lane for this tower, and your mid team should be pushing that. So just think like base your play off of what the next objective should be, and constantly ask yourself, what is the next objective? What is the next objective that I have to be focusing on? Like that, doing that will just pretty much like guide you how to play the next like 30 seconds, next minute. So especially like especially for like top lane, if Infernal Drake is coming up in like a minute, so just keep asking yourself, okay, keep telling yourself Infernal is coming up in 1 minute, I need to play around that. So if you constantly remind yourself of that, then you'll make the proper play and be like, okay, I say you don't have teleport and Infernal is coming up in 1 minute, so that means that you can coordinate your wave management. Like, okay, like I'm gonna shove this wave in so I can back and recall and then group up for Infernal. So like you have to think ahead, you have to think in advance what the next objective should be, and you can just play around that, if that makes sense. Do you have any other questions? I think your like laning and like Camille mechanics wise was pretty good from what I've seen, and that's just a common theme that a lot of like low elo players have. Like usually if they play Camille enough, like they'll be pretty good at mechanics wise, but then they won't know what to do in mid game as much, and I think that's your biggest problem that we need to work on. Do you have any other specific questions for me or anything like that?
I'm wondering about maybe one thing, like when you split pushing bot, right? Is there like any specific spots I should keep aboard?
Yeah. So especially for bot lane, if you're pushing bot, this ward is really nice.
In that push?
Yeah. So if I move up here, so these wards are nice, just because if you have a ward here and a ward here, this ward's a little harder to do, but this one's also very nice. So like if you have this warded, you'll see people coming from here, and you also see people coming from here, right? And then if you're playing Camille, as soon as you see those people coming, like you can just E out and then be safe. So like this ward is nice in the sense that like if your teammates have this warded, then you'll be like pretty much safe. So if you have this bush warded and then this bush warded, you'll spot pretty much like whoever's coming like as soon as they cross this line, and then you'll also see people coming from here, right? Yep. So for top lane, if you're shoving top lane, then right here is nice. Right here is nice, and then also here's also really nice. So yeah. And if you have a pink, this bush is really nice to pink also, because you can get picks from it. If they don't have this warded, you can like sit in here, and then if someone comes by, you can get a pick here. And also, not a lot of people walk by this way, and this is one of my favorite bushes to pink, especially say you're playing blue side top lane. Then if you pink this bush, then or like early game, if you like shove in a wave and you like run into your jungle and just ward this, you'll see the enemy jungler like doing red buff, then pathing towards Krugs, and not a lot of junglers will walk by this ward. So I really recommend this spot for a pink ward. A lot of times they'll not get spotted for for a while. So there's that. Any other questions you might have?
No. That's it.
All right. Hope that was helpful. Thank you for contacting me, coach. And I'd really work on pressuring the lane properly when you have a lead. Like you could have pressured the Fiora a lot harder, and just keep asking yourself, what's the next objective on the map that you have to take, and just play according to that. And always prioritize shove before you roam, okay? Because if you're ahead, P-Rock can contest you for the CS. You can just shove it in, and then you buy yourself time to roam, and then you can make those potential plays happen. So I would say work on these concepts, and if you kind of like maybe play like for another couple weeks and you're want to see how you've improved, let me know if you want another coaching session. But that's gonna be it for me. And yeah, hope that was helpful.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for coaching me. It was really nice.
All right. Yeah, I have this session uploaded, so I'll upload it on YouTube if you ever want to like rewatch it. Yeah. But yeah, have a nice day.
Yeah, have a nice night.